Hey knitters, what's up? Welcome to a special Friday edition of the Knitty McPurly podcast. I am your host, Devin Ventry. You can find me at KnittyMcPurly.com. I'm Knitty McPurly on Instagram, and if you want to email me, I'm Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, etc. Thank you for joining me. You might be like, Devin, what is going on? It is not Sunday, it is Friday. Well, this weekend is like the perfect storm. It is like booked solid. I even had to call in reinforcements. My mom is here. She and my homeschoolers who are off today are watching Beauty and the Beast, the Emma Watson one. My mom has never seen it. So good. So I'm able to do this now. And then this weekend is my daughter's best friend's wedding, Gigi, who's only 14, and her best friend is only 21, and she's getting married tomorrow. So Gigi's the maid of honor. We've got the rehearsal dinner tonight, and tomorrow we've got to get ready all day and take pictures, and then the wedding and the reception. And it's also Gigi's birthday weekend. So Sunday is like family all day. So I was like, I think I'm going to record the podcast on Friday. So here I am, very glad to see you. I also have a shop update today. Oh my gosh, you guys. Here's our progress in shop news. Oh, before I get to that, I also scheduled a colonoscopy on Wednesday. I know that's too much information. No one needs that information, but just to add one more thing. Crazy. The prep, oh my gosh. Good grief. Anyway, progress in shop news. Today I have a shop update and it is a doozy. There is a ton of new stuff in the shop today and I want to go through and show you all the things. I showed you some of them last week, but before I do that, let me talk about my outfit. I have my Joy Stitch Marker necklace on, which you can find at my website if you're interested in that, with my Grayson Wood earrings. They're having a sale this weekend too, I think. They put new things in the shop all the time, but the wooden ones are my favorites. I love those. And you might notice I found the striped diggory tee. I don't think it was stolen after all. I'm always blaming my kids for stealing my stuff. And then I find that it was just me. I just waylaid it, put it aside and didn't know where it was. So I'm wearing this with this as a vest kind of today with a shirt underneath. And I think this is a great way to wear diggory on a colder day, to just, put something under it and wear it like a vest. How is the knitting going on the diggory knit along? You guys, we have, 3 more weeks, 3 weeks of knitting. So I need to go check out that hashtag on Instagram. I hope you're posting your progress pictures because I would love to see them. People keep saying, oh, I'm making it in Fontaine or I'm making it in all mohair. And I'm like, I gotta see these. So post them on Instagram with the hashtag, what is it? Diggory knit along, I think. I'll link it below. Anyway, back to the shop update. It's a lot of stuff. Before I get there, let me just show you October's color of the month again. Here it is in fingering weight, and here it is in DK. And you can see, this one's got some really good speckles in it. It's got a green, it's a Black Forest cake and Poirot and Roxette speckles on top of this beautiful rose gold. So if you want to get that, this is October's color of the month, and it is available all month in the shop. Okay, kits. The Flux Cowl is coming out today. I wore this last week on the podcast. Now, this pattern is coming out today at 12. It is half price. It's only $3 for a while, like a week or so. In addition to this pattern coming out, also the yarn will be available, the Dresden DK. I talked about this last week. It is Surrey silk, but it's DK. You guys, it is so fluffy. Look how fluffy it is. And I thought the best way to start out with this yarn, because it is different, it is not like other yarn. If you've worked with a novelty eyelash yarn, it's a little bit like that. So I thought a good introduction to this yarn is a one skein project because it is more expensive. It is $32 a skein. And so a one skein project is a great way to start. And if you wanted to get the Flux Cow pattern, the good thing about this, not only is it an amazing accessory, it is trapezoid shaped so that it lays super nice. I'm gonna ignite into flames here pretty soon. I've got the fan on, but it's still kind of warm. It lays super nice, but when you're knitting it, you're working a DK weight yarn in a US 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter needle. So it's a big, big needle. It's very, very simple. It's movie theater knitting. It's a movie that you just want to watch and you don't want to pay a lot of attention to the pattern, kind of a pattern. It's a great introduction to this yarn if you're interested in trying it. So I actually have gone another step and I've started a sweater in it, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Today at noon, I don't know what time this video is going to go up or when you're watching it. It might not even be Friday anymore, but today at noon in the shop update, the cowl will be available for $3 for the pattern. The yarn is available as a single skein or in the kit. It's so many things. There's so many things and they all go together. So let me just talk real quickly about the kits. I showed these last week and I'm gonna crinkle your ears off. Hopefully you're not listening with headphones. So the kit looks like this. It has the beautiful, gorgeous bag. I'll put up some pictures because those look prettier than the packaged kit. It has the beautiful, gorgeous bag by Susan Smith of Delightful Works in the fall, foresty, fall colored fabric. It's just so buckety and great. And it has a skein of the Dresden DK. It comes with the download of the pattern. So if you get the kit, you don't also need to buy the pattern. The pattern comes with the kit. And it has my new, a 2-ounce tin of my new fall balm, which my product advisor, AKA my teenage daughter, she and I came up with the name of it as Red Flannel because it's just such a fall sounding thing. And it's amazing. I think this is my favorite one I've ever done. It's cardamom, black pepper, and clove. And you can smell all of those things. You can smell all three of those things. So if you get the 2-ounce tin, it's great. This is my favorite way to use it. I just kind of scrape a little bit off the top. And sometimes I'll dig in there a little bit if I need a little more. And you can put it on your hands and you can put it on your feet, especially in the winter. I don't know about you, but my feet get kind of gross. So I'll put it on my feet at bedtime and put some socks on and sleep with that. And I wake up and my feet are all soft. My mom is here, like I said, and we were just talking about the balm because she has balm and she uses it. And she's like, if I get like a cut on my hand, if I get scratched by the cat, I just put the balm on. Who told you to put the balm on? So yeah, that comes in the kit. If you don't want a kit though, you can also go and get this just as a 2-ounce tin or in the 1/2-ounce stick. Some people like the stick, even though it's less balm, because you don't have to get the front of your hands on it. You can just stick it on like that and then kind of, rub it in like that. So whatever you like, that's all in the shop starting at noon today, Friday, October 6th. So there's the balm, the cowl, the yarn, and the kits. It was a lot of website updates. I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna be watching the website and my email at 12 o'clock just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. I went over it a bunch of times, but let me know if anything isn't working as it should. Okay, so when it comes to the Dresden DK, there are 3 ways you can get this yarn. The first way is in the kit. 1 skein of it comes in the kit. Like I said last week, the kits are in 3 colors. This color, Dusty, which is what I used to make mine. This is a lot of light. Let me try turning this one off. That's a little bit better. I'm by this big window and there we go. So that is the color Dusty, and it's a beautiful rose gold. These are all like semi-solids. There's a little bit of tonality to them just because it's a hand dye, which is what I love. You can see it a little bit, I think, in the cowl. A little bit, not a lot, but you can see that it's a little bit tonal. And it also comes in these 2 yellows, Straw and Fields of Gold. So all of them are labeled on the picture Don't click the picture to buy the thing. You have to go to the drop-down box. I'll put a picture here so you can see. You go to the drop-down box and you choose the color that you want, and you can get the yarn that way. The other way you can get the yarn is by clicking on this icon right here where it says Dresden DK, and everything in there is what I have in stock right now. So if you order that, that will ship out on Monday or right away whenever you order it. If you, oh, and let me show you what's in there. So I have a few skeins of these in there, not very many because most of them went in the kits, but I also dyed Fontaine, this sole, and Beryl. You guys, look at it. It's so fluffy. Do you remember? You probably haven't seen Despicable Me 3, but with the unicorn, it's so fluffy. It's just so fluffy. It's amazing. So if you would like to buy a single skein of it, you can. If you are one of these very brave people who wants to try this unique new yarn without having knit it before, you can get a sweater quantity or another color by, and I did a little video here, I'll put it up, by going to the color that you want. Here I went to Poirot, and you can use the drop-down menu and you'll drop down to Dresden DK pre-order, and you can put in as many as you want. Which brings me to my new cast on. Is there anything else I want to say about the shop update? Hold on. Yeah, because this yarn is new and it's unique, I really loved the idea of a single skein project, but I loved it. So I decided to cast on a sweater. I'm insane, I know. Where is it? Oh, here. So I thought, it's funny, I pulled up my Go Lightly pattern. This is just the front page. It's a lot of fluff and it's sticking to my balm. So I was looking at these pictures of the Go Lightly and noting just how terrible I look in them, because this was right after cancer treatment. I am like fully bald under that wig, and it makes me feel like I should go take new pictures because I just look sick in all of these pictures. But I love the sweater though. I wear this sweater a lot in the winter. It's very warm, even though it's a DK weight sweater. Because of the turtleneck, it's very warm. So I've worn it like for an evening out before, and a lot of times I'll be too hot. So I thought, what if I made the Go Lightly in the Dresden DK in Fontaine, and what if I just took out the turtleneck? And instead of knitting, 6.5 inches or whatever it is of turtleneck, what if I just did a few rounds of the ribbing and then went into the sweater? This is a raglan sweater, so it's knit top down. So when I decided to do this, I thought it's a leap because this yarn is different. It's not like a regular DK. Like I said last time, I don't know how it would sub into a sweater pattern that calls for a regular, regular worsted spun or woolen spun DK weight yarn. Because when I made this, I made it with a very open gauge. It's knits up super fast and easy on these big fat needles. So I went and found what I had left and I made a swatch, and you can see it's not very long because I didn't really care about row gauge. Because like I said, this is a top down raglan sweater, the Go Lightly, and I'm mostly concerned about stitch gauge. So I worked the swatch in this color just because it was what I had left from the cowl. And I love the way it looks. With this, I used the needle called for in the pattern, which is a US 4. That is a 3.5 millimeter. So I really like the way it looks. I really like the fabric that it makes. It's very soft, it's not too dense, but my stitch gauge is off. So on a regular DK, this pattern calls for 19 stitches in 4 inches. And here I had 16. So what I decided to do, I could have gone a couple ways. I could have just gone with a sweater that fits a little bit bigger, and that'd be fine. But I'm not exactly sure how much bigger. I would have to do the math to figure it out. So I could have made another swatch, but I decided not to. I'm just going to go with it, but not with this needle size. I used the US 4 for the swatch. So I went down to a 3, and here is my cast on for that. I cast this on last night because why not, right? It's a stockinette sweater. There is nothing difficult about this sweater. It has, I forget what this sleeve is called, where it puffs here and then it's blousey through, I think right below the elbow. And then it comes in and it's fitted through here. It's a great sleeve. It's very comfortable. The fit of the sleeve on the sweater makes the whole sweater feel very comfortable because it just gives it more ease in the shoulders, and it's just a really comfortable sweater. And I thought, gosh, in this yarn, this would be a dressy sweater. And I really wanted one. I wanted a sweater that was more dressy, like for an evening out without the turtleneck that makes me too hot. So this is exciting, and I can kind of tell you how it's going. If you try the yarn with the flux cowl and you love it and you want to do more, then stay tuned because I will tell you about how it's going with the sweater and what I think of it as I'm going. It's addictive. It's different and new, but it's not like the lace / fingering weight that we normally get with a Surrey silk. It's different from that. It's just so much fluff. It's so much fluffier. So, okay. Another thing is, like I said, it is a little bit pricey. So you definitely want to try it out with just one skein. Unless you have a really great yarn budget and you're really adventurous, try out the single skein project before you jump into a sweater, because I am making the second size and I'm going to need 6 skeins. Might be able to do it with 5 because I'm omitting the turtleneck. I don't know. I don't know if it will work, but I'm going to try with 5, but I have an extra one in case I need 6. But that is going to put this sweater at just under $200. And that is a lot of money, I know. And maybe you're like me where, you care about spending money on some things, but not yarn. Maybe you're looking at your yarn budget going, maybe I will try this in something cheaper. Someone recommended to me, can't remember who it was. I apologize. But someone said to me, they will make, if they have a sweater they want to try, they'll make it in like a really cheap yarn that they got on sale or whatever at the craft store. And if they like it, then they will do it in something more expensive. And that's a great idea if you have the time and interest to do that. Some of us just want to dive right in. And you can always unravel. Unraveling is a thing. You can always do that. Okay, I have no crocheting with Gigi segment this week because she's in school because it is Friday. But I did want to show you the pillow that Alexis made for Gigi for her birthday. So hold on. Okay, so it was Gigi's birthday this week. So many of you wished her happy birthday in the comments. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to pull it up for her and let her read through them all because they were so nice. She had a great day. She actually had a presentation at school that day and it went awesome. So it was a good day. Her friends sang to her and it was good. But this beautiful pillow was crocheted by Alexis, not using a pattern per her usual, with her chenille yarn that she loves. And she made it for Gigi for her birthday because this is the color of Gigi's bed. So it's just so nice. I love the chenille. It is really nice. I never work with it because I tend to work with luxury yarns because I'm a snob. But Alexis likes the chenille and it is super soft and she did amazing. Looks so good. She crocheted it. Awesome as always. Okay. All right. Topic of the week. I don't know how many of you know Paula Emmons Feasley. She died of ovarian cancer right around the time that I was finishing up my chemo. So we were both living with cancer around the same time. And you might notice that she's wearing the Gigi cardigan on the front of this book. This beautiful book was written and compiled by a lovely lady named Sue Whitkin. And she emailed me a while back to ask me to contribute. And, I gotta find it. On the page where I have my contribution, sorry, I should have opened it up to this before. Here. But she has a page dedicated to the Gigi cardigan, and I wrote a little blurb. Sue edited it a little bit for space and time. But here are some pictures of people wearing their Gigi cardigans. And Paula had a whole episode of her podcast talking about the sweater and how much she loved it. And I just thought that was so great. Here's another really good picture of her. But it was very sad when she died because, so she died in 2021, I think. And she was a really wonderful part of the knitting community. And I don't think she had any part in the splintering of the community. And that's one of the things that I think is so beautiful about her. I never actually met her in real life, but she loved my sweater. And the ironic part, and I tell it in the story in the book, is that one of the first things that I ever knit was her Piper's Journey shawl. Let me see if I can find that in here. There's a whole section devoted to the Piper's Journey. It was one of the very first things that I knit because she was a bagpiper. So she's the piper in the Piper's Journey. And my friend Lisa, who taught me how to knit, this was one of the very first projects that I made. And in this project, you knit the shawl down, and it's kind of a crescent shape. And then you pick up and knit the border like this all the way around the edge. It's an applied border. And it was the shawl that taught me that technique. In the Gigi cardigan, when I wrote this pattern back in 2017, I wrote the collar like an applied border. So you knit the sweater, and when you pick up the collar, you're working it this way, going around. And it's just ironic that she's the one who taught me that technique. And here she is wearing the sweater, loving that sweater that I used that technique in. And this was my very first, and Piper's Journey was her first published pattern, and Gigi was my first published pattern. So this book has so many pictures. I'm just going to try and flip through it a little bit just so you can see. There are so many great pictures in there. And it has so much just... Sue worked on this for 2 years. And in that time, she even had a death in her own family. But Paula was friends with Elizabeth Zimmerman. That's all documented in here. If you want to purchase this book, I will link it down in the notes. You can email Sue, and her email is sue.whitkin@me.com, and that's linked down below. It's $39.95 plus tax and shipping. But, you can also follow her on Instagram. I'll put that down below too. LoopLover12 on Instagram. This is a nonprofit venture with part of the proceeds going to ovarian cancer research in Paula's memory. So that's really nice. I just thought that was so sweet. Sue sent me the book because I contributed to it, and I just think it's so beautiful. Paula was a beautiful part of the community, and she will be missed. All right, going on to your comments. Okay, last time we talked a lot about double-pointed needles. Lisa R. said, as of last month, signature needles went out of business. I'm wondering if something changed. I received the interchangeable set for Christmas several years ago with the longest cable on each. Each size takes separate cables for each length. Okay, yikes. So each size of needle has its own unique cable? That's weird. I tried to purchase some key sizes for most used size needles, but they'd already sold out. They're beautiful, but extremely expensive. Well, I don't know, I don't know if Lisa is saying this definitely happened or she thinks it happened, because when I went to look last week, their website looked like it was still up and running. So I don't know if that's true, but they are very expensive. They are like 6 times the price of Knitter's Pride. So I don't know. Cat Mom 725 says, totally off topic, but your t-shirt is the perfect depth V-neck. Do you mind if I ask where you bought it? I don't mind at all. This is just a great tip. Bridget Brianna is this lady out of, I think, Utah. And she and her husband put these hilarious, they're Christians. They put these little videos on Instagram, and they have a company called Sexy Modest. I don't love that the word sex is in the title, but whatever. It's called Sexy Modest. I think it's sexymodest.com. And they have the cutest, modest clothes. I bought that t-shirt that I had on last week there, and I bought the pants that went with it because it's like this easy to wear travel outfit that doesn't wrinkle, and you can dress it up or dress it down, whatever. And then I ended up going back and buying more t-shirts, and I bought a bunch of dresses too. Their dresses are amazing. I have one that I'm gonna wear to Maggie's wedding. Next week, I'll have to show you all the pictures from the wedding. But I highly recommend this website. That place is great. I'll link that below too. Okay, oh my gosh, this is great. Emily Destobin says, my husband and I are celebrating our 7th wedding anniversary this year, and he just told me that it's the wool anniversary. What? I'm sending him to your website, and let's all say a prayer that he decides to splurge. That's hilarious. I can't believe I've been married for 21 years. I can't believe I missed. It's a multiple of 7. Maybe every multiple of 7 is wool. I don't know. Well, today's a good day. Send him over there today, Emily, and fingers crossed. Oh gosh, Rachel Bonner says, I am a left-handed person who learned to crochet left-handed, but could never quite figure out left-handed knitting. So eventually I learned to knit right-handed. For years, I enjoyed crocheting a lot more than knitting. That kind of makes sense. If you're doing it lefty, that would make sense. But once I started doing more knitting, because there seemed to be more knitting patterns for clothing, now I enjoy knitting more. Plus, crochet seems to make my hands hurt more. Maybe I need to try the ergonomic crochet hooks. I love your October color of the month. I think so, Rachel. If you're using those skinny hooks, those hurt my hands too, because it's just so much gripping. I don't have it up here, but the one I have is just the Hobby Lobby ergonomic one. It just basically has a handle. I bet if asked, crochet hook users have a lot of opinions about what is a good ergonomic crochet hook. So check out the comments, because people always write the smartest, most intelligent and helpful things in the comments here. So this is our collective wisdom coming together. Colette Moolman says, happy birthday, Gigi. It's my birthday today. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. For interest's sake, there is a Bob Ross movie and a documentary that your Australian follower can watch. The movie stars Owen Wilson called Paint. Oh my gosh, how have I not seen that? Tell me it's better than the Banshees movie, please. It has to be. It can't be worse. And the TV documentary is called Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed. That one I saw. That one was on Netflix, and that story is amazing. Here it is in 50 words or less. Bob Ross was the sweetest, most wonderful guy, and somehow his he was super sick for the last half of his life, and he kind of just went out of the public eye because he didn't want to suffer in public. And some members of his family or friends, I can't exactly remember who, just took over his name and was profiting off of it, and they basically stole it from him. And he died, and you should watch that movie if you're interested in like true horrible stories, because it really just underscored what a wonderful guy he was. But I haven't seen the Owen Wilson one, and I love Owen Wilson. That sounds so good. Love your cowl. It's so dreamy and romantic, especially in that dusty rose color. That is exactly what it is. I have worn this almost every day that I can. Sometimes I'll put on like a sleeveless shirt just so I can wear the cowl. And the bags for the kits are drool worthy. I know. Susan, who made these bags, is an amazing person, and she did such a good job. The craftsmanship is amazing. They are so beautiful. I could not be happier with them, and I can't wait for you guys to get them and to put your projects in them and to just love them. Sharon Brooks says, knit or crochet, just say yes. Exactly. I'll talk about that more in a minute. Pam Knits 2 says, yes, happy birthday to Gigi, the sweetest young lady and very talented. I'm excited about the kit, although my husband was watching with me today and he's not as excited. Too bad, but he will be once he sees the lovely cowl. Absolutely, for sure. It's totally worth it. I think we should all pretend that it's our 7th wedding anniversary all over again. Who knew that the 7th wedding anniversary was wool? I don't know any of them. I feel like the first one is like lint or something ridiculous. The first couple are like Tupperware. I don't know. They're not anything. And I think that was probably when I was interested in what they were. But now I'm getting up to the good stuff like gold and diamonds is probably like 50. I don't know. I got to look it up. In the comments, a lot of people said yes to a sock ruler pre-order. So probably what I'm going to do is talk to my supplier and decide what a good number is and when a good day to start it is. Probably, if I had to guess, in about a month, I'll do a sock pre-order and I'll have it up for a couple days so that there's no rushing, there's no pushing and shoving. Everyone just feels like I can go in at my leisure and walk away with a sock ruler. I don't want to feel stressed and, oh no, I set an alarm, but my phone was on silent and I missed it, and now the sock rulers are sold out. That is such a bummer. I hate that. So I'll give you plenty of notice when it's going to happen, and it will be on for several days, and that will be great. So we will definitely do that. All right. Anything else? No. Knitting fantasies. Okay. So I was looking for some knitting fantasies, and I found this dress. This is called the Oh My Figure dress, and it is amazing. Now, she is wearing this dress very, very fitted, and this woman is in amazing shape and is probably 20, okay? So let me just say, we don't have to be as perfect as this woman. We could just knit it with a little bit more ease. Now, I have been on a quest since about April of this year, but I really stepped it up in August to fitten myself up because in my next birthday, I'll be 46 and I would like to be fit. I've always been thin. Other than when I was pregnant or nursing, I've always been thin my whole life, but I've had periods of fitness, but they were always cut short by pregnancy or cancer or something like that. But right now I'm looking forward to a vast expanse of, God willing, no cancer and definitely no more pregnancies. So I would like to be able to knit and wear a dress like this. Why not, right? We can do it. So this is I believe, Danish. When I look at the language and the money, I'm pretty sure she is from Denmark. I could be wrong about that. But this pattern is available in many languages, including English, and she holds 2 yarns together to get a DK weight. I'm pretty sure, she doesn't say what they are. I think one is a fingering and one is a mohair. And in the end, she gets a DK. But I think I would rather make this just in DK yarn. It would be kind of cool to do it in something like from the craft store that maybe has acrylic in it, because then it wouldn't cost as much to make and it would be potentially easier to care for. But you guys know I do not have a lot of spare time, but I love this dress enough that I would actually make it. And it comes with this V-neck add-on pattern. So you have to buy the main pattern. Or the V-neck add-on is not a separate pattern. It's just an add-on to the original dress pattern. But I think it's amazing and I love it. This designer had a very small number of other patterns. Her patterns are available on PayHip. If you find them on Ravelry, it redirects you to PayHip, just like my patterns on Ravelry redirect you to my website. Anyway, all right. I only have that one and the V-neck add-on because I was just blown away by it and like, just yes. So here's what happened. If you have a knitting story, please send it to me. You can write it out and send it to me. You can send me a video or an audio recording. I would love to share it on the podcast. Any interesting, funny, crazy, ridiculous, hilarious story that relates to knitting, I would love to share. If you do write it out, send pictures because I love the pictures. Everybody loves the pictures. It's just so great to share these things. Tell me your fiber story. Whatever it is, send it to me. Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. That's Devin with an I, also linked down below. But I thought since I don't have a knitting story for today, I would talk about my interview with Christy Glass. It was so great. So we did a Zoom interview. She lives in Virginia, but she's about 3 hours away from me. So we did a Zoom interview this week, and that's going to be coming out at the end of November, either totally for her patrons or in part for her patrons. She might have a little bit of it that's available for everybody. But I had so much fun talking to her. And the biggest takeaway that I had is that she's someone who I like, who I think is extremely classy and normal. She's not someone who, I don't know, you know what I mean when I say she's a normal person. Like, she's a real person. She's not put on. She's not fake. I think what you see is what you get. This is just who she is. And I really, really love that about her. And one of the things that I said to her is, you know, we don't have to worry about being canceled, because once you're canceled, you're free to do whatever you want. And you can't be canceled again. You've already been canceled. So it's great. There's a lot of freedom in that. We talked a lot on camera and we talked a lot off camera. And, you know, just some of the stories that she had about her acting kind of in good faith with people, just being normal, doing normal things that people do, and then getting people turning it around and making it sound like she was trying to use them or profit from them or set them up in some way. And I don't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, great. But if you've been following the knitting community and you know about people getting canceled, Christy's maybe the most recent one. I don't know. I'm not really in that part of the community anymore, so I don't really know what goes on there. But this is better. Where we are, where we live is way better. And I will take it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So if you want to get in on all of Christy's content, she has a Patreon. And I looked online and she has 2 levels of membership. One is only $6 a month. That's like 1 coffee a month. It's called Yarnorama. And she says, Yarnorama gives you access to all of the blog and video content here at Christy Glass Knits, as well as patron-only live stream videos. And you can message her with anything you want. The Knitterati is for $11 a month, and that adds a monthly Zoom and any Zooms associated with make-alongs. So both of those, and Christy is so fun. Like if that kind of thing is interesting to you and you want to meet other knitters and get in on make-alongs and things like that, I definitely encourage you to go check her out. She's worth $6 a month to hang out with, for sure. It's like a knitting group. I imagine that's how it sounds to me. So I recommend that if you're not currently a member, go join there. Okay, I've got to go see if the movie's over. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you love the shop update. And if you need anything from me, feel free to send me an email. And I will see you next week on Sunday. All right, bye knitters.